Attention Europe, Manchester City are back, and they look scarier than ever. Under the command of Pep Guardiola, the greatest manager football has ever seen, three blue monsters have emerged, and together they look unstoppable. The first is Erling Haaland, the record breaker, the striker who lives to destroy defenders and smash every number ever written.
He's alongside in terms of goals, Van Nistelrooy, but especially Lewandowski, but especially with the two monsters that have been Cristiano and Messi during 20 years. Erling is there, so in terms of goals, he's unbelievable.
This is the man who can score 5 goals in one international match. Who can silence Manchester United with a ruthless brace.
Doku, oh, Haaland's onside! 2!
And who can rewrite Champions League history in just a week. Haaland only needed 49 games to reach 50 Champions League goals.
But he's so physically dominant, he's so consistent, and he really doesn't waste a single touch in terms of his ability to just finish in the final third. It's like nothing I've ever seen before in my life.
To put that in perspective, at just 25 years old, he has already caught up with legends like Thierry Henry. What the Norwegian is doing is beyond reason.
That finish from the monster, we already know when it comes to goals and anything that happens in the box, you know, at his age, what he did, the amount of goals, nobody can talk to him.
Next to him is another blue demon, a player who has the ability to pull off actions that remind you of Lionel Messi himself.
It's Doku. Still Doku! Oh, brilliant!
The terrifying part is that he is starting to do it more and more often. Explosive pace, technical brilliance, and clinical finishing. This is Jeremy Doku, the winger who can break games wide open in a single run, leaving full-backs chasing shadows. He is chaos in human form, but chaos with end product.
For me, Jeremy is the best player in the world in the first 5 meters. So when you stop the 5 meters, it's unstoppable.
And finally there is the prodigal son of the city, the one who bleeds sky blue, who represents Manchester City like no one else ever could. Phil Foden is back, and when he is fully fit, there is no debate he's the best player in the Premier League.
Can we talk about your form? This season you look back to your best again, or getting somewhere towards that, is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair to say. Obviously last year my performances weren't what I'm used to, but I feel like every player goes through them dips, it's just about how you react. Been hungry as ever to get back in.
His close control, balance, agility and precision touches are at their peak once again, and he looks ready to take ownership of the league he grew up in.
Borussia Mönchengladbach. Here's Foden. Phil Foden! Oh, ho, ho!
This trio has already smelled blood at the start of the new season. Haaland has struck 6 goals in his first 5 matches, hunting defenders as if they were prey. Doku has already chipped in with a goal and 2 assists, proving his threat is not just about dribbling but also about finishing moves. And Foden has contributed with a goal and an assist of his own, showing his influence grows with every game. Together they are ruthless. Together they are hungry. Together they are the reason every rival in England should be terrified. Because if they keep this rhythm, if they keep this hunger, then the Premier League will not just be dominated, it will shut down. Erling Haaland looks like he will break every record he sets his eyes on. Right now, the Norwegian has already scored 12 goals in just 7 matches this season with club and country. And while it almost feels normal for him, the truth is it isn't. Haaland has simply made the extraordinary look routine. Since the day he arrived at Manchester City, he has been rewriting history. His transfer from Borussia Dortmund in May 2022 cost around €60 million plus hefty commissions. But City recovered that investment from the very first moment he stepped on the pitch. Pep Guardiola added the one weapon his system was missing, a true, ruthless goal scorer, and Haaland responded instantly, without even needing to adapt to English football at just 22 years of age. Haaland has goals in his DNA, and his first Premier League campaign proved it. In the 2022/23 season, he shattered every expectation by scoring 36 goals in 35 league matches, breaking a record that had stood for almost 3 decades. Andy Cole's 34 goals in 40 games in 1993/94, and Alan Shearer's 34 in 42 games the following season were left behind by the cyborg from Norway.
When I've watched him, he hasn't surprised me, because when you know when there's something special, when there's a special talent there. And when I look at him, if you're building, if you want to build from scratch the perfect centre forward, he is it. He is the perfect guy. He's big, he's strong, he's quick, he's technically good, he's good in the air, he's got a fantastic... There isn't anything he's not very...
The nicknames say it all: the Beast, the Cyborg, the Terminator. And his numbers back it up. He delivered hat-tricks as if they were nothing. 2 in his first 5 matches, 3 in his first 8, 4 before his 19th game, and 5 before reaching his 39th.
De Bruyne, Haaland,
Every benchmark, every pace setter from the past was destroyed by Haaland's relentless rhythm. He finished that season with an astonishing 52 goals in 53 matches across all competitions. Those goals powered City to a historic treble, the Premier League, the FA Cup, and for the first time in their history, the long-awaited Champions League. In Europe alone, Haaland scored 12 goals, adding 3 more in the FA Cup, and his record-breaking 36 in the league. With those 52 goals, Haaland didn't just break records, he obliterated them. The previous best tally in a single season by a Premier League player was 44, shared by Ruud van Nistelrooy with Manchester United in 2002-2003. And Mohamed Salah with Liverpool in 2017/18. Both of them now look small compared to the scale of Haaland's output. Only one man in history still stands above him, Dixie Dean. The English legend scored 60 league goals and 63 overall for Everton in the 1927/28 season. Records that have survived for almost a century. Haaland is the only player in modern football who looks capable of chasing them down. And thanks to his arrival, Manchester City joined an exclusive club. They became only the second English team in history, after Manchester United in 1999, to complete the famous treble, a Premier League crown, an FA Cup and a Champions League all in the same season, and at the heart of it stood Haaland, the unstoppable machine. If Haaland's first season at Manchester City was historic, his second only confirmed what everyone already feared. This striker is built to dominate football for the next decade. Once again, he finished as the Premier League's top scorer, this time with 27 goals, proving that his debut year was not a one-off, but the start of a dynasty of goals.
Haaland, 3-1!
During that same campaign, Haaland became the fastest player in history to reach 100 goals across Europe's top 5 leagues, doing it in just 103 appearances. Numbers like these do not belong to normal footballers, they belong to legends, and Haaland is writing his legend at frightening speed. In the Champions League, his strike against Red Bull Leipzig on matchday 5 of the 2023/24 season made him both the youngest and the fastest to reach 40 goals in the competition. Not Messi, not Ronaldo, not Lewandowski, nobody touched those records before him, and trophies followed, as they always do with City. That year,
They're in it again, the Blues!
he added another Premier League title, a UEFA Super Cup, and a Club World Cup to his collection. Wherever Haaland scores, silverware follows. Then came the 2024/25 season, when he cemented his bond with Manchester City in unprecedented fashion. Haaland became the first player in the club's history to sign a 10-year contract, tying himself to the Etihad until 2034. In modern football, where players rarely commit long-term,
I'm here to stay.
this deal was more than a contract, it was a statement. Manchester City and Haaland are inseparable. On the pitch, he continued to demolish records. He began the Premier League season with 2 hat-tricks in the opening 3 matches, instantly setting the tone. He also broke Edin Dzeko's record for most goals scored in the first 3 Premier League games of a City season, adding yet another milestone to his growing list. When he scored in the 2-2 draw against Arsenal on September 22nd, he equalled Cristiano Ronaldo's record of reaching 100 goals for a club in just 105 appearances across Europe's top 5 leagues.
Haaland one-on-one, score!
For context, the greatest names in football took far longer. Haaland matched them in barely over 100 games. In the Premier League itself, the numbers are even more absurd. Haaland has needed only 94 matches to reach 84 goals and 16 assists. Alan Shearer, the benchmark of English goal scoring, needed 100 games to hit his first century in 1995. Haaland is already ahead of him. Behind them stand giants like Eric Cantona, Mohamed Salah, Sergio Aguero and Thierry Henry, all of whom needed more matches than the Norwegian machine. Haaland has already broken into the elite pantheon of strikers, but the terrifying part is that he has only just turned 25. These records are not the finish line, they are only the beginning. So now we ask the big question. Is Erling Haaland already at the very peak of his career, or can he somehow get even better? Pep Guardiola himself answered that question after City's derby win. Erling has been incredible since the start, but this season he is better than ever. I would say better than the treble year. Those are not empty words. They come after a week in which Haaland scored 8 goals a brace against Manchester United, 5 more for Norway against Moldova, and 1 in Champions League. But it wasn't only the numbers that convinced Guardiola, it was Haaland's all-round game. His his link-up play between the lines, his defensive contribution with 6 clearances in his own box, and the deadly efficiency of his 2 finishes at the Etihad. In Europe, his clever header against Napoli took him past Alfredo Di Stefano and level with Thierry Henry on the all-time Champions League scoring list. Only 8 players in history have ever scored more. Statistically, the evidence is overwhelming. In the Premier League this season, Haaland leads the scoring charts with 5 goals in his first 4 matches. That might look ordinary for him, but the underlying numbers tell a very different story. His current average of 1.32 goals per 90 minutes is the highest of his career. If he maintains it, he will become the first player ever to break the 40-goal barrier in a single Premier League campaign. His shot conversion is back up to 26.3% after dipping in previous years, and his non-penalty goals, also 1.32 per 90, show how dangerous he is from open play. The reason? City themselves have changed. Guardiola has embraced a more direct, urgent style. Fast breaks per game have more than doubled compared to last season, reaching 1.8 per game, already close to the totals of the last 2 campaigns combined. Their through balls have gone up, their passes forward percentage has risen to 29.4%, and their average passes per sequence have dropped to just 4.3. In short, City are quicker, sharper, more vertical, and this plays right into Haaland's hands. We saw it clearly against United. Haaland sprinting through on goal 3 times, twice finishing like the Borussia Dortmund virgin that tore defences apart on the counter.
Can he tuck it in? You bet he can!
It explains why his expected goals has exploded to 1.52 non-penalty expected goals per 90, something no player in history has ever sustained across a season. If City keep playing this way, Haaland's chances will only increase. A record-breaking year is not just possible, it is probable. But what about the long term? Haaland is still a long way from Alan Shearer's legendary record of 260 Premier League goals, but the numbers show he is perfectly on track. At this stage, he has 90 goals in 101 matches, 8 more than Shearer had after the same number of games. His scoring rate of 0.89 goals per match is far superior to every member of the Premier League's 100-goal club. Thierry Henry managed 0.68, Harry Kane and Sergio Aguero both 0.67, Mohamed Salah 0.62. Haaland is on another level. Having signed a new deal tying him to Manchester City until 2034, time is on his side. At his current rate of 0.89 goals per 90, he would need 193 more matches to surpass Shearer, which means breaking the record around December 2031, with 2.5 years still left on his contract. And if his current 2025/26 rate of 1.32 per 90 became the norm, he would smash Shearer's record in just 130 games, barely over 4 seasons.
Do you think, given his age, given how good he is, do you think Erling could become the all-time record Champions League goal scorer?
If I can get in that rhythm, yeah. He's not injured, he can play 10, I don't know how many years, 10, 12 mid-years. I would say he maintained this progression, absolutely.
If nothing changes, Haaland will soon overtake Jermaine Defoe's 162 goals and enter the all-time Premier League top 10 within the next 2 years. From there, the path towards Shearer becomes clearer with every strike, but maybe it's better not to look too far ahead. Records will come, goals will come, and trophies will come. What matters now is this: we are witnessing Haaland in the best form of his life. If Guardiola says he is better than ever, then who are we to disagree? The monster is here, and the scariest part is he is still evolving. Jeremy Doku entered this season with one clear aim: to finally show he can live up to his world-class potential. And so far, the Belgian winger is proving that when he combines his raw talent with end product, he is one of the most dangerous wide players in world football.
I've been so unfair with him in the last games because Jeremy in the final third is unstoppable.
In the Manchester derby, he created 2 goals before following it up with a stunning solo strike against Napoli in midweek. That mix of creativity and direct threat is exactly what Pep Guardiola has been demanding from him. Few players in the modern game can glide past defenders the way Doku does, as if they weren't even there, and when he couples that ability with the final pass or finish, he becomes almost unplayable. The numbers confirm it. In terms of creating chances from open play, Doku is currently the most effective player in the Premier League. He averages 3.2 chances created per 90 minutes, ahead of names like Noni Madueke, Bukayo Saka, and even his teammate Bernardo Silva. That gap is enormous, and it shows how often he is turning his dribbles into real danger. From City's perspective, his role is priceless. Haaland thrives on running beyond the last defender, and Doku's ability to destabilise fullbacks and deliver from wide areas is the perfect complement.
United. Doku. Oh, Haaland's onside!
We saw it against United when a turnover led to Bernardo Silva releasing Haaland for a one-on-one. That same pattern is happening more and more, and it is exactly why Guardiola's more direct City this season are so lethal. Doku's explosive dribble and pinpoint cross to assist Matheus Nunes in the win over Aston Villa left Guardiola glowing with praise.
What he was brought on to do.
Jeremy is the best player in the world over the first 5 metres, Pep said. In those 5 metres, he is unstoppable. He has something unique. His acceleration in short spaces is breathtaking, and once he has passed his marker, it is almost impossible to recover. It is not just about pace. Doku combines speed with raw strength, bouncing off defenders and protecting the ball under contact. This is why he is currently the best dual winner in the Premier League. According to Opta, he attempts 10.84 dribbles per 90 minutes miles, ahead of Southampton's Kamaldeen Sulemana with 7.24 and Tottenham's Mohamed Kudus with 6.55. And more importantly, he completes 6.77 dribbles per 90, almost double the output of Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri, who sits in second. That gap gets even wider when you compare him across Europe. Among the most promising talents in world football, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, Vinicius Jr., it is Doku who leads the way. His 10.8 dribble attempts and 6.8 successful dribbles per game put him comfortably ahead of everyone else. Not since Eden Hazard or Adama Traoré has the Premier League seen a winger with such raw dominance in 1v1 situations, but even they never matched Doku's consistency. The stats back Guardiola's words. Since dribbling numbers were first recorded in 2006/07, no Premier League player has produced what Doku is producing right now. Sofiane Boufal once led the list with 10.3 attempts per game, but Doku's average since arriving in England is 9.9. And unlike Boufal, he turns those attempts into success at historic rates. For Manchester City, this means one thing. Every time Doku takes on a defender, he buys Haaland an extra second of space. Every time he surges down the flank, he drags markers away and creates gaps for Foden to exploit. Already this season, he has provided 2 assists to Haaland, proof that his chaos leads directly to goals. Guardiola calls him the best in the world over 5 metres, and right now, the numbers say he is the best dribbler in the world, full stop. Phil Foden is once again smiling, and when Foden smiles, Manchester City shines. The cheeky grin, the dazzling feet, the telepathic connection with Erling Haaland, all of it came together in the 56th minute against Napoli.
Foden. Oh, that's clever.
When he broke the deadlock with a strike that reminded everyone why he is one of the brightest talents of modern football. Just 4 days earlier, he had been the spark against Manchester United in a 3-0 win, his first start of the season after injury. The joy is back in his game, and so is the brilliance. His resurgence had been hinted at during the Club World Cup in June, where he scored 3 goals and added an assist in just 1 match. Last season, injuries and inconsistency weighed him down, but now Guardiola's words ring true. Don't put pressure on him, he's special. Some players need to feel loved. When that happens, he responds. Foden is once again responding like the player he was destined to be. What makes him so unique is his versatility. He can thrive as a winger, dictate tempo as an advanced midfielder, or drift centrally as a second striker. His tactical intelligence allows him to adapt seamlessly, whether he is creating chances, dictating play, or finishing moves. He is as dangerous linking midfield and attack as he is running directly at defenders. Foden's off-the-ball movement is another trait that elevates him. He positions himself in pockets between midfield and defence, creating confusion over who should mark him. From there, he can turn quickly, drive at the backline, or slip passes into teammates. His acceleration and technical brilliance force defenders into impossible decisions, step up and leave space, or sit back and give him room to shoot. City's system thrives on attacking the half spaces, and Foden is a master of exploiting them. He underlaps wingers like Doku, forcing centre-backs to make choices that almost always leave space open for Haaland. His timing in these runs is devastating, often receiving through balls from riders or stones and turning them into goals or assists. Goals remain a central part of his game. Foden always attacks the box, arriving late to punish defences from crosses. His scanning allows him to spot gaps before anyone else, and his pace means he often beats defenders to the ball. Add to that his long-range shooting 6 of his 19 league goals. in 2023/24 came from outside the box. A club record, and you have a player who can score from anywhere. His left foot remains one of the deadliest in the Premier League, but Foden is also a creator. His assists often come from low, powerful crosses to the back post, where Haaland and City strikers lurk in blind spots. He also has the vision to deliver chipped passes into those same areas, perfectly suited for Haaland's aerial dominance. His through balls are surgical, beating defensive lines and unlocking low blocks when City need patience. And then there is his pressing, relentless, intelligent and precise. Foden is a nightmare for defenders trying to build from the back. His counter-pressing is especially lethal. Lose the ball near him and he will immediately hound you, often regaining possession high up the pitch to create instant scoring chances. Guardiola has always valued players who defend by attacking space, and Foden embodies that philosophy. The 2023/24 season was his best individual year yet, with 19 goals and 8 assists, proving he could be ruthless as a second striker. But this current version of Foden feels even more complete. He has regained his confidence, his flair, and his freedom. Against United and Napoli, he floated across positions, dictating play whether starting centrally or drifting wide. And with Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan gone, City expect him to combine creativity with efficiency to lead a new generation of midfielders. What makes this even more exciting is how he mirrors Jeremy Doku's freedom. Doku's solo goal against Napoli, receiving the ball on the half-turn and slicing through defenders, was almost identical to Foden's run that led to his strike against United. Both operate with a license to roam, both unbalanced defences, and both add layers of unpredictability to Guardiola's side. As Guardiola said of Foden after his latest performances, unstoppable. The scary truth for the rest of the Premier League is that this might just be the beginning of his prime.